I have the beautiful, beautiful Mare Cromwell with me today, and it's such an honor. I met this beautiful priestess and goddess through Judith sending me some information about a 1,000 goddesses gathering, creating a grid around the earth and bringing in love and compassion and all the things that I resonate with and I'm aligned to. And so when I was forming the summit, my intuition said, you need to ask Mare Cromwell. Like, she has this connection with Mother Gaia. And so she was actually one of the very first priestesses that I reached out to. And she's so beautiful and has done so many amazing things already for Mother Goddess and Mother Gaia. She's created written a couple of books, The Voice of Mother Gaia, as well as the Great Mother Bible. And she has, well, I'll let her explain all the work that she's been doing, but she's been doing incredible work of uniting goddesses all around the world to bring in compassion and love and a healing connection with the Great Mother Gaia. So it's so good to have you here, Mare. It's such an honor and a blessing.
Thank you. I'm really honored to be here, Shamet. It's just a joy when you first reached out to me, and I love that we're doing this. And I love the vision of the work that you're doing because it's so important right now with everything that's going on the planet.
Yeah, it is. And the work that you have been doing for years. So thank you. Yeah, it's good that
we're weaving it all. Yeah, we're weaving it all together. As women, we weave it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's a lot of weaving to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So my first question for you is, what does the goddess mean to you?
You know, this is a powerful question for me because when I first got the instructions from Mother Gaia that I was to organize 1,000 goddesses gathering and a formal event, you know, with all these women attending and bringing forward the goddess energy, I had to really grapple with the word goddess because I've been surrendered to serve Mother for many, many years. You know, I've studied with Native American teachers for 25 years and other elders, but I never thought of myself as a goddess. And I had this image in my mind that was like, that's not really you, Mare. Because I'm a tomboy. You know, when I was a kid, I was out in the woods playing with my brothers, making forts. I was not into girly girl stuff. I was not into dolls. And so I had this image that I needed to let go of, honestly. And the image was of this diaphanous gown and this woman lilting through the meadow, you know, which I now know I can do at times. But what I also came to realize is the goddess is the most powerful divine feminine energies within us that we can all tap into. Even if you are a carpenter in your workday and you love to get out there and chop trees compassionately, reverently, you can still embody the goddess within yourself in how you live your life and the energies that you tap into the great divine feminine spiritual realms. And so there are a lot of women who are turned off by the word goddess, because I've encountered this also. And I really want to express to everyone that you have the goddess within you. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, pure, divine, feminine energy of compassion and wisdom and groundedness, and to the point of being very connected to Mother Gaia and the divine feminine realms beyond Mother Gaia. And the masculine, men can embody the goddess. They actually have the goddess potential within them because we all have the yin and the yang within ourselves. So this term goddess is something I've had to do a lot of work around because it's not something I embraced originally. I was like, no. But Mother's like, yes. You know, yes. So it's a really, really lovely, soft and powerful compassion and wisdom within us that is so needed right now on the planet because we've been dealing for years with an element of the masculine that has not brought forward compassion and wisdom.
Yeah, thank you. I love that you brought that up, actually. And I don't think anyone else has brought that particular wisdom to the summit. So I love that so much. I remember there was this, a woman that she kind of flailed herself around and called herself a goddess, and but she was not very nice and not very kind. And so, I think there's an element of that kind of, I don't know what it is, ego or masculine, feminine, that to me is not what a goddess is. But in some ways it feels like it's kind of given the word goddess a bad name in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like thinking that you have to wear these gowns and, be a certain way, when to me, just like what you just said, it's about our connection to Mother Gaia. For me, that's what the goddess means.
And I think you're speaking on something that's really, really important is, I've had visions for years of the new earth coming in. And when we fully achieve it, we're going to be beyond ego. We're going to know that we're one with everyone and everything around us, and there's no hierarchy. And so there's a lot of wounded masculine aspects of ourselves as women too. And, you don't, the ego, if it's really out of balance, is a wounded aspect of ourselves. And it doesn't even really need to be termed as it wounded masculine or wounded feminine, but sometimes it's easier to look at it that way. But the goddess is about bringing everyone together. It's about, deeply holding space in a sacred container where all needs are met. Everyone's needs are met, including the sacred ones that are not just human. So it's a whole different sort of mother kindness, serving. And we're kind of like leaning into, in the conversation here, what does priestess mean too? But there's a lot of overlap there.
Yeah. So what does priestess mean to you?
I
know, big questions, aren't they?
Well, those of us who really acknowledge ourselves as a priestess, I think, number one, we know we're here to serve. And our listeners, we have the capacity to tune in on the spirit plane to the mother. And it could be Isis priestess. It could be Bridget priestess. There are many different kinds of priestesses. And all these goddesses in the spiritual realms, because we didn't even talk about that in the term goddess, is that we as women and men can embody the goddess energy. And then there are those in the spirit realms who are goddesses. And there are like 10,000 of them. There's countless numbers of them all around the world that different cultures call on, that are actual spiritual beings. So as a priestess, we have, most of us, if not all of us, who see ourselves as priestesses in this lifetime, have been priestesses in other lifetimes. And I've had people say to me, oh yeah, you lived at so many different temples and you were a priestess, da, 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 da. And then when the Judeo-Christian culture came in, then you became a nun, because that's where women went to still cultivate the divine. Is we lived in the convents then, and we didn't use the term priestess, but there was still that energy that was within us. So what does priestess really mean? It means honestly that I wake up every morning and it's like, how can I serve? How can I support Mother? How can I help bring forth the healing, the balance, the wisdom that has gotten so far afield? We have gotten so far away from it. How can we bring it back and then take it to a whole other place where it's even more evolved than it was 10,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago, when, the mother goddess was really recognized by all pagan peoples, and indigenous peoples have never forgotten Mother. They all have names for her in their language all around the world. So, And then I think also the priestess role can mean teaching. It can mean helping others learn how to connect to the mother and to creation, and how to really walk a humble spiritual path. And I want to really stress the word humble. Is that, we are vessels, and in the Lakota tradition, they say the hollow eagle bone. Those who are really far along on their path consider themselves a hollow eagle bone, where you can say either the ego is so balanced or the ego doesn't exist anymore. And so spirit just moves through, and they're guided by spirit, and they serve, and they're there to help the village, to support people, to heal people, to hold the space in a sacred way. And so priestess walks that path also. Now, I want to share a story, though, because I never thought of myself as a priestess, and I never thought myself as a goddess. This is like part of the evolution of Mare. And 3 summers ago in 2017, I was going through a very rough time. And we all go through rough times. Even if you consider yourself a priestess or a goddess, we're still human. We have, and it's good. It's good to be tested, because that's how we grow. So I was having a very rough few days, and there's a sacred mountain that's very close to me that I go do ceremony on as much as I can. And I got a very clear message from Mother Gaia later that afternoon, and it was in June. The day was long. She said, you need to go to the mountain and do ceremony. There's stuff here that you need to let go of. And so I took my smudge bundle, my feather, and went to this one area that I go to that's very, very special on the mountain. And the first thing I was told to do was, light your smudge up, get the ceremony going, call on Mother, call on creation, call on your spirit teams. And now you need to basically shed your old skin, this wounded piece of you that is so rattled right now, that is holding you back from really stepping forward. And I literally imagined a metaphysical skin around me, which we all have. And I literally peeled it off, starting from my head, going down my arms, my legs, my feet, even to my toes, and bundled it all up metaphysically. I had this little bundle in my hands. And I was told, you need to bury this now. So with my hands, I'm digging in the leaves, and I put it down there and I bless it. And once I finished that, I knew that I wasn't finished. There was more. I'm like, okay, Mother, what now? She says, I want you to stand straight up here. And I want you to acknowledge, to know that you are a Gaia priestess. I want you to own this now.